Welcome to 4K Ultra HD Review. Today is a special day because Criterion has officially released their first 4K release. And oh, it's a doozy. It's Citizen Kane from 1941. This is Orson Welles' first film, and it's pretty crazy. Orson Welles pretty much was approached by Hollywood after he did all the War of the Worlds radio show, freaking out everyone thinking aliens have landed. And he was tasked on creating a film, which he had complete directorial and written authority over. So what he did was watch almost every good movie that had came out to that certain point in time and implemented the best of all those techniques all into one film. Now, this film is often shown in film school. I saw it when I was a kid. When I was in high school working at a video rental store, I kept seeing in all the top 10 lists of greatest films of all time, it was always Citizen Kane. I know when I first watched it, it was really boring. I didn't understand it. Then I watched it in film school, and then I kind of appreciated it more. Most people talk about the film techniques that they use in this, something like deep focus, where the whole shot, you can see everything in focus, so you can have two things or three things going on at the same time. I don't think Orson Welles came up with all those techniques. I think he perfected them and put them all together in one film. This movie is basically based off of William Randolph Hearst's life story, and also the life stories of a lot of industrialist Americans during like the 20s, 30s, and the 40s. Orson Welles pretty much captured the archetype of an American man of industry climbing to the top and controlling the media and being able to get into politics through that and gain more power and wealth, but also have a broken childhood haunt them to the last day, and more money, more problems, relationship issues, and stuff like that. All captured in this film. You could think of a lot of people. You can think of, relate this to now with Donald Trump's rise, to Jeff Bezos, all these Elon Musks, all these kind of people. They're all essentially a Citizen Kane. I really enjoyed this movie, watching it again in 4K. It's an old black and white film. Now, there's only so much you can get out of a 4K transfer of this, especially sound compared to what sound was back then. However, I did watch the regular Blu-ray 1080p version of this movie because apparently there was a issue with the first batch of these films. There's an issue apparently in the 30-minute mark of the regular HD Blu-ray. There's a contrast issue, which Criterion's good about doing a recall with it. For some reason, my version did not have that error, and this was a first print I got through Amazon, and there was no error at all. I watched it twice, and I didn't see any contrast error, but they are doing a recall. That there's in the description, you can figure out how to do that recall. It's fairly painless. But then I watched the 4K version of it, and it was really good. It's a dark movie. It's black and white, but a lot of details I did not see before I could see in this transfer of it. So Criterion did a great job. I'll show you now. The packaging is unbelievable. This is hands down the best packaged 4K release I've ever seen. It's really something to behold. I guess the only thing that would come next to it was the Alfred Hitchcock collection. But yeah, you can see everything folds out here. It has Citizen Kane in various points of his life. Really cool package. Lots of extras. The Criterion menu system is great. I am definitely sold on the whole Criterion shtick. I like this stuff. These are cool for collectors, and definitely a film that should be in any film buff's collection if you're getting into 4K. The film itself, yeah, it's cool. It's a mystery, basically. Charles Kane dies at the beginning of the film of old age, and his last words are Rosebud. And then it's basically journalism newsreel that is trying to figure out what was behind his last words to, I guess, make like an end cap to their newsreel video about his death. Basically, an investigator is going around trying to figure out what Rosebud is, and that is a vehicle for the storytelling of Kane's life. So it's very clever how they do that. I guess I'll spoil it since this movie is ancient. Rosebud is the name of the sled that Kane had when he was a little kid before his family signed him over to the bank to take care of him. Also, before he meets his mistress, right when he meets his mistress, he was on his way to pick up the sled from his mother's belongings after she passed away. So that's all. It's all connected in there. So the only gripe I have about this film is it's just long. And movies were long back then. You got your bang out of the buck going and seeing movies in the movie theater. This is a long film. It's almost 3 hours, and from the times I watched it, I always felt the storyline about the mistress that he marries, his second wife, and her whole venture through being forced into becoming an opera singer. I felt that part of the story drags. And that's the only part of the film that it's just kind of like, we get it. They could have truncated a little more. But besides that, I give this film, especially Criterion version of it, this gets a 9 out of 10. This is an amazing package. I really look forward to checking out the rest of the Criterion 4K movies. And I have a bunch of them coming in. I'll be reviewing a bunch of those 4K releases. So stay tuned here for sure. So that's my review of Citizen Kane in 4K. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. We've got some more Criterion releases coming down the pipe. Let me know in the comments, do you own any Criterion releases? What was your first Criterion movie? Citizen Kane 4K is my first Criterion film, but I've always heard about this collection of film releases. Anyways, have a great week. I appreciate you.